Barcoding is very important with medical devices, specifically heart valves and pacemakers, because it allows us to have better inventory control. It allows us to have better reconciliation with patients who are being implanted, and it reduces the amount of errors when transcribing that information in the medical record.
With a recall or something to that effect is that if at the time the piece of whatever it was is implanted, if that field is overlooked or transcribed, transcription error, then there's a potential that that particular patient won't be included in the recall because the reporting information is incorrect.
Another reason for barcoding medical devices, that data would capture a lot or a serial number for an implant and an expiration date, that all is necessary for the patient's record for particular implants. Then, in the event of a recall for any product used on that patient, the patient's record would contain the appropriate information to know who to notify the facility.
So the challenges is that it's not universal. So some medical devices, for example, heart valves might have just a lot number, just an expiration date. Some medical devices like pacemakers might have a serial number and a lot number and a expiration date. And when you're manually transcribing those things, there is an opportunity to miss a number or incorrectly enter that data. And so when that happens, it's hard for the medical record to then be able to reconcile that that patient actually got implanted with a specific device.
Healthcare needs barcoding in general, for accuracy of data entry. Many of the items that are used or implanted are very long with many characters in them with great risk of transposition or fat fingering or something. And barcoding has the capability to make that process easy and accurate every time. One of the biggest roadblocks for that is standardization. That you can take a box of Cheerios to any store, scan the barcode, and it will read that unified, agreed upon, standardized barcode. But for medical devices of all types, whether it's an implant or tissue or a supply or piece of equipment, things like that, there's no standard.
The main challenge is the inconsistent barcode languages used amongst all the manufacturers. Earlier, the FDA has not offered any standardized language for our medical device manufacturers. The barcodes printed on devices at this time seem to serve the supply management aspect for the manufacturer themselves, so they can track the inventory from build through the distribution and the sales aspect of their business. I don't feel that the barcode is applied to a device for patient documentation at this time.
I think the way we can make it the most efficient is having consistent barcoding for all devices based on what specific devices we're using. If it's a heart valve, then I think we can specify the type of barcode that's used on that product, and it can be universal to that institution or universal to that product. Then we would be able to easily use that information to find if a patient had it.
So I think any discussion has to be approached from the standpoint of a standard barcode. It doesn't do anybody any good at any point along the way, whether you're talking manufacturer, whether you're talking SAP or some other supply handling, or whether you're talking about the clinician in the room or next to the patient who's using it, or you're talking about the person who's building the system, who is going to, the analyst who is building a configuring the system to receive that information, or the person who after the fact is reporting on that information. All of those pieces have to, in my opinion, have to be built around the premise of one standard barcode.
The expectation of scanning the barcode is the true accurate data that would go to the patient's record. When you introduce a manual process into anything for a patient record, there's the potential for incorrect information or missing needed information to be overlooked, and now you have an incomplete record. If that product was involved in a recall at a later time and it was an incomplete record, would that patient be contacted or followed due to the absence of information? No.